In this video, I'm going to share with you guys the new most overpowered class setup for the MP5 here in Modern Warfare, so I hope you guys like the class and enjoy the video. So what's going on, ladies and gents? My name is Arbuckle. Welcome back to another video. Today we are once again back on Modern Warfare, and I wanted to share with you guys an absolute god class for the MP5. I decided to make this video over the last couple of days when I changed an attachment on my standard MP5 class setup that changed the way that I play this game completely. I've started dropping between 15 and 25 kills every game of cyber attack that I play, and it's all solely because of this one attachment that I threw on the MP5. So I'm going to share with you that in this video, and at the end I'm going to share with you guys some gameplay so you can see just how insane this class setup is. So hopefully you guys are able to do really well with this thing, and let's jump into the class. So if you guys take a look at the attachments, we're obviously going to be using this MP5. The muzzle that we're going to be using is the compensator, and this is the first attachment. This is the main attachment that I changed from my original MP5 class setup. Originally I was running, I think, a 5MW laser and got sick of it and decided to add something that would really help me out and help me do a little bit longer from longer ranges, and the compensator was that attachment. If you don't run this, I highly suggest that you try this out. With this, you're going to get recoil control, you're going to lose a little bit of aim down sight speed, which is definitely worth sacrificing, and you're losing aiming stability, which doesn't matter because there's no idle sway on the MP5, so that's basically useless anyways, but sacrificing a little bit of aim down sight speed here, which will make up for with other attachments, is definitely worth getting that accuracy and control boost. You guys will find a huge difference and be able to laser people from across the map here with this MP5. So the compensator muzzle is definitely the best way to go here. We're not going to be using a barrel. I think a lot of players like using the FSS Lite or the FSS Mini. They are useless. Do not run them. The Lite obviously makes you lose bullet velocity and range, which we don't want to lose. And the Mini ends up making you lose accuracy and range by taking away bullet velocity and recoil control. So both of these are completely useless. And I know a lot of people like running a monolithic suppressor because they're able to do well in search and destroy because their weapon is quiet. But I promise you, do not worry about running a suppressor. It's not going to make that much of a difference, and you're not going to win as many gunfights if you don't have this compensator on. So leave off the barrel. You also want to leave off the laser. You don't need it. We're not going to be running an optic. I feel like this is pretty obvious. Most of you guys should know by now the MP5 is one of the only weapons in the game that you should never run an optic with, so we're leaving that off as well. The stock that we're going to be using is the FSS close quarter stock. So I know a lot of people like running that collapsible, which is decent for a Russian class setup, but obviously that'll give us a massive mobility boost and we lose accuracy, range, and control. With the close quarter stock, it's the perfect attachment for this MP5 because the Pro is aimed on sight speed, which will make up for that compensator loss of ADS. And also, the con is aiming stability, which, like I said a minute ago, is completely pointless. So essentially, you're getting a free attachment with no con here. So the FSS close quarter stock is definitely the best stock to rock with the MP5. Wow, that was really lame because it rhymed. The underbarrel that we're going to be using is the Commando foregrip. So generally, I see people with the MP5 don't run an underbarrel because it's a really lightweight weapon. They want to move fast and really get mobility. What's nice about this Commando foregrip and what adds to that compensator is you're going to get recoil stabilization as your Pro. So you're losing a little bit of movement speed here, but you're really improving your accuracy, range, and control, which is going to make a huge difference from long range. You're going to win a lot more of those medium to long range gunfights than you think, and you guys will see in this video by running the Commando and that compensator. So make sure that you're running the Commando foregrip underbarrel. A lot of people like running things like the Merc, the Ranger, even the Operator foregrip. All three of those, you lose more ADS speed, and you get the exact same thing essentially that you get with the Commando foregrip. And the Tactical foregrip gives you aiming stability as a Pro, which, like I said, is useless. So that one's automatically a no-go. But the Commando foregrip is definitely the best underbarrel to go when using the MP5. Now, the ammunition that we're running is very important as well. We're using the 10mm auto 30 round mag. So I know a lot of people use this, a lot of people don't use this. I've tested this weapon out. This is the only gun I generally use in Modern Warfare anyways, and I have found that 10mm is always the best thing to have on. I understand that you may have to reload a little more often than you want to, but it is so much more worth it because you're getting an accuracy boost, a damage boost, and a range boost here. With damage and range as your pros, your fire rate drops just a little bit, but because of that massive damage boost, you're not going to notice a difference. Actually, you're going to notice a difference by being able to kill people a little bit quicker. So the 10mm auto 30 round mag is 1000% the ammunition that you need to run here. Last but not least, the rear grip that we're going to be using is stippled grip tape. So this is very important as well, giving you more ADS speed as a pro, but more importantly, sprint to fire speed as a pro. This is essentially another free attachment for the MP5 because you guys can see the con is that aiming stability. So you're getting 2 free pros here and a nice boost in mobility. You guys will see that your control drops, but keep in mind with the attachments that have the con of aiming stability, you're not really losing anything. So even though it shows that your control is dropping, it's really not. So stippled grip tape, a really good attachment, especially for those of you that like to play extremely aggressive. So this is the class setup. Let's jump into some gameplay to show you guys exactly how deadly this thing is. Alright, so what you're watching right now is me demonstrate what this weapon is going to play like here in a team deathmatch game on Ramaza. In this gameplay, you guys will get a great understanding of how well this weapon does from not only extreme close ranges, but extreme long ranges as well. It's an overall fantastic MP5 class setup. There's a lot of situations in this gameplay where I'm on the verge of death, and because of how powerful this thing is, I'm able to finish someone off. So there's a couple things that I want to recommend that you do with this class setup that'll give you the best results. The first is making sure that you're using a secondary if you're playing in a respawn. So for example, in Cyber Attack or Search and Destroy, I generally run the combat knife so I can get to spawns faster, get to specific locations quicker than the enemy so that I already have that line of sight and I'm posted up. And it's not really that necessary to have a pistol in Search and Destroy or Cyber Attack because most of the time you're going to have plenty of ammo. You've got 30 bullets and you shouldn't have too many problems. Don't get me wrong, there are situations where I do wish I had a couple extra shots in there, but it's definitely worth rocking the 10mm 30 round mag there. But having the pistol in a respawn, and you'll even see in this gameplay where there's several times that I back off fighting someone because I have to reload and I don't want to use the secondary because I'm not used to using it. I almost always have the combat knife, but having that secondary is going to be very important because especially if you're in their spawn and you get in a situation where there's 2 or 3 people and you're able to take out one, maybe able to take out 2, but there's still one left, maybe you've done a little bit of damage to them, having that pistol will allow you to win those gunfights. A lot of times in those situations when you just have the combat knife, you're pretty much screwed and you just accept defeat, but having that pistol makes it very, very clutch when you're in a situation like that. Now, a pistol that I would recommend using is anything other than the Deagle or the 357. You want something that's going to shoot fairly fast that you don't have to be extremely accurate with. Obviously with the Deagle and the 357, you get one shot at a time there and they're pretty slow, so you need to try to be accurate. When you're using something like the M19 or even the Renetti, you can kind of just spray and pray with it, and at that point in the game you've probably already done damage with your MP5, so you just need to hit them with 1 or 2 shots from that pistol so you can use one of those pistols that shoot really quick, throw a lightweight trigger on there, and you'll be able to finish players off. So I would recommend the Renetti. A lot of people say it got patched, which it did, but the 3-round burst and the Akimbo is what got patched. You shouldn't have any issues by just using a single Renetti without the 3-round burst. You can also use the M19. That's a really, really good pistol that I generally like to use here in Modern Warfare, but make sure that you're running a secondary if you're going to be using this in a respawn. The second thing that I want to point out, and is something that you'll see a lot in this video now because I do it all the time when I play, is using some sort of alternate method to avoid gunfire after you start getting shot at. So you guys will see in the gameplay, like I said, there's a lot of situations where I really feel like I should have died, but because of how overpowered this MP5 is, I was able to still take them out. And a lot of that is due to the fact that I was either jump shotting, drop shotting, or sliding, which is 3 very important things that you should do here, especially if you're playing very aggressive with the MP5. Essentially what that does is if someone is shooting at you and they get those first shots off, if you're using any other weapon other than this MP5 class setup, as long as they don't miss, there's a good shot you're pretty much going to die. However, with this MP5, if you're able to evade that gunfire for just a split second and start laying shots down, this thing is so OP that you're going to be able to kill them, and they're not even going to know what happened. So like I said, you'll see it a ton of times in this video where someone's shooting at me and I just kind of jump or slide to the side and I'm able to take them out because you just got to land a few shots with the MP5. But using these three methods, whether it's the jump shot, the drop shot, or the slide shot, very, very good ways to go after people. But that is going to be it for this video. If you guys have any questions or anything else to add about this specific class setup, please make sure to leave a comment down below and I'll be sure and try to help some of you guys out. But I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see all you guys in the next video.